So if you guys have been following my channel for a while now, you guys have probably seen me make a lot of paper airliner models. And actually I have the MD-11 from the previous video before the A350, and also Skyflyer all mounted on my wall. And over there is the A350. But I want to try something else for a change. So here we have templates for the Piper J3 Cub, and you can find this in the link in the description down below, but that's not all there is. So here we have the floats that you can actually install on your Piper J3 Cub in real life, and there's actually two of these because it's said to print twice. And there's even a canoe that you can strap onto your floats, and this is actually how people transport canoes in real life with their Piper J3 Cubs. But also, we have skis that you can use for snow. So, it's no secret that the Piper J3 Cub is a very versatile airplane that you can use a lot of occasions, and it can land pretty much anywhere, whether in a very short surface or very short landing strip or anything like that. Even the instructions, it gives me a lot of history about the Piper J3 Cub. So it said here, it's a small, simple, light aircraft that was built between 1937 and 1947 by Piper Aircraft. So it's pretty nice, and I even have numbers here to register my paper model so that it can match up with a real-life Piper Cub, which I don't have, but at least I'll have a paper model of it. And so with that being said, let's get on with the model right now. The Piper J3 Cub is a small, simple, light aircraft that was built between 1937 and 1947 by Piper Aircraft. With tandem fore and aft seating, it was intended for flight training, but became one of the most popular and best-known light aircraft of all time. The aircraft's standard yellow paint has come to be known as Cub Yellow or Lockhaven Yellow. J3 has dual controls, meaning it has a stick both in the front and the back. When solo, the Cub is flown from the rear seat. It is flown from the front seat only if there is sufficient load in the rear, such as extra fuel or other cargo, or in some cases, another passenger. Icon of the pre- and post-war era, the J3 Cub has long been loved by pilots and non-pilots alike, with thousands still happily flying today. Did you know that Piper sold 19,073 J3s between 1938 and 1947, the majority of them being L4 military versions? And did you know, a new Piper Cub selling for about $2,500 in 1946 would fetch today more than $65,000. I don't want to cut this guy's arm off, but his hand is in the way and I'm trying to cut out the propeller. Oh man, this is gonna be tough. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, man. Although now that you think about it, It feels like his hand is still gonna be in the propeller. So like, I think this part's gonna be on the back side. Smooth operation. Variety of models, as well as similar tandem cockpit accommodation aircraft from Aeronca and Taylor Craft, were collectively nicknamed grasshoppers and used extensively in World War II for reconnaissance, transporting supplies and medical evacuation. Mechanically identical to the J3, the L4 was equipped with large plexiglass windows extending over the top of the wing and behind the rear seat, and the side windows were enlarged. Nearly 5,700 L4s were produced for the US Army and 250 for the US Navy as elementary trainers. Installed the wings the wrong way, and now I have to How did I miss this? No! How the heck did I miss this? In Europe, the final dogfight of World War II occurred between an L4 and the German Fieseler Fi-156 Stork. The pilot and co-pilot of the L4, Lieutenants Duane Francis and Bill Martin, opened fire on the Stork with their .45 caliber pistols, forcing the German aircrew to land and surrender. After the war, most L4s were destroyed or sold as surplus, but a few saw service in the Korean War. The Grasshoppers, sold as surplus in the US, were redesigned as J3s, but often retained their wartime glazing and paint. This is one day after the Piper J3 Cub project. One day after the last project. And I'm back with a new one, and you can still see some leftover cutouts from the J3 Cub, which I was too scared to throw away because they look too good to be thrown away. Like, look at that. And so today, guys, I'm gonna build the Cessna 172 next. So this is also from fiddlersgreen.net. This is the Cessna 172, and apparently this is in the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University livery. You can see here, this is what their Cessna 172s look like. Registered November 370 Echo Romeo. And this version thanks to James Holt. So shout out to James Holt for making this version of the Cessna 172 possible. And so with that being said, let's get it on. I never thought I would cut out all of the parts in one go. Awesome. In 1955, the company Cessna developed the Model 172, which was essentially a Model 170B. I'll talk about that later. With detail improvements and the tail wheel landing gear replaced by a spatted tricycle unit. The improved ground safety of the new variant proved immediately attractive, and in 1956, some 1,170 Model 172s were sold, compared with a mere 174 of the Model 170B, whose production was terminated. The Cessna Model 170 and its immediate successors of the same family have the double distinction of being the best-selling series of light planes of all time, and also the most widely produced aircraft series yet developed, well over 30,000 examples having come off the production lines by the 1980s. The origins of the series stretch back to 1948 when Cessna introduced the Model 170 itself, little more than a 4-seat re-engineered development of the earlier Model 120. The Model 170 proved popular, but the type's real success started in 1953 when Cessna introduced the Model 170B. This was powered, like its predecessor, by the 108 kilowatt, 145 horsepower Continental CO145-2 air-cooled piston engine, but incorporated the slotted Fowler flaps pioneered for Cessna's Model 305. With these efficient flaps, the field and low-speed performance of the Model 170 were improved radically, and all subsequent Cessna aircraft of the same type have been designed around similar flaps. I had a lot of fun building this model, and I couldn't really say that it was easy. I did have some difficult times with some parts of the models, both in the Cessna and the J3 Cub, but overall the results looked amazing. were a few issues with the wing and the windscreen of the J3 Cub, but I guess that was just me. Safe to say that both models look amazing. I had a lot of fun with the building experience, and it was really nice stepping up from the usual paper model airliners that I usually make. I would give the Cessna 7 out of 10 points. The J3 Cub gets 8 out of 10 points.